Now, breaking news from News 13.
Good afternoon once again, everyone. I'm Tom Lewis, live in the News 13 studios in downtown Panama City, and we're keeping you updated regarding the wildfire situation across the Panhandle. We've had a lot of developments since we visited you last hour at 2 o'clock. In fact, the biggest news right now is apparently there is a new fire somewhere off of the Tram Road area between Star and Knee High, we believe at this point, and that has forced the evacuation of the Sims Nursing Home. Alexia Chiropoulos was actually with the Springfield Fire Department, riding along with them for a story that she was working on today when all this happened. So she has been on the scene since this started. Alexia, what's the latest there?
That's right, Tom. I was actually on a ride along with the Springfield Fire Rescue when we showed up here, and next thing we know, they are evacuating. I'm going to step aside here so you can see this frantic scene behind us here. Right now, they are watering down some of these trees to be more proactive out of anything here to make sure that fire doesn't come close to the nursing home here. However, in case it does, they are constantly evacuating residents and patients living here. They've already had a few of these vehicles already go over to the fairgrounds today. There's about 3 more here right now. I've seen residents gathering onto those vehicles the past 30 minutes here, and they did definitely seem very frantic as they are trying to get out of here as fast as they can. I've been told there's roughly 30 or so left inside. There's 88 total residents, and they are just getting them out of here as quick as they can for safety precautions. I've also been told that the fire out there is roughly half a mile from where we are now, so hopefully it won't get any closer with them being proactive, but we will definitely keep you guys updated as this is an active scene here. Tom.
Alexia, my understanding was it's going to take about an hour to get those folks out of there. That they're still in that process, right?
That's right, Tom. They are still in that process. There's about, like I said, 3 behind me right now. They are putting wheelchairs in there as well as families that are with these residents currently. There were a few already when I saw them earlier today, but yes, about an hour to get them out of here into the fairgrounds.
Well, what is the staff going to do? Are they going with these folks, or are they going to stay behind and try and protect what's there? Or do you know at this point?
They're actually going. We do know they're going with them, and they are also staying here at the same time. They have crews, both areas. They're actually in front of them, taking them to the fairgrounds so they can get there quickly, drop them off, and bring those vehicles back here to grab more of them. But like I said, here they do have crews currently watering down the areas here so that fire doesn't get close to the Sims Veterans Nursing Home.
Alexia, what exactly are we looking at as relation to where the fire is to where you are right now? Which direction is that fire?
So the fire right now is north. It is right along Tram Avenue. I am going to point here with my left hand so you can kind of see where that is. That is across Tram Avenue. The last I heard from the departments here, the fire is actually on Tram Avenue on that dirt road, and it is slowly making its way closer to us. It's about half a mile, the last I heard. Okay, you hang there, get the stuff that you need for your story, but be careful by all means, okay? All right, thank you, Alexia. Alexia Chiropoulos reporting live from Sims Nursing Home. Now, I'm watching in another monitor right over here the area over at the Panama City Mall, which is the command center for that. The governor is supposed to be doing a news conference at 3:15. I just saw what appeared to be a helicopter landing, which I assume may be him. So we will, I think, stay with you until he is ready to speak, and as soon as he is, we'll jump in and take that action over there as well. Let's check in with Ross though right now. Ross, what do you see as this new fire flares up? Are you being able to, have you been able to see any signs of that via radar and whatnot?
Yeah, I'm not picking up smoke on the radar, but certainly can see it on the tower cam here. We noticed most of the day, all we were seeing was kind of gray white smoke way off in the distance, and that was the BERTHA fire. But now you see in this black smoke that is right through here, that is definitely the Sims, the new fire that's right there near the Sims Nursing Home, just between Star and Tram. Not exactly sure the extent of that fire at this moment in time, so until we get map updates, that come in. We really won't know the scope of that fire, but certainly it has flared up. And the smoke has thinned out just a touch, which may mean that they're starting to get a little more managed, but we're still seeing that black smoke indicating that there is a fire over in that general area and that something is still burning. With a temperature at 78 degrees, our wind, that's the biggest issue today out of the south-southeast at 19 miles per hour. Dew points are actually fairly high up, so as we get into the evening hours, we will see the atmosphere help us out because we're going to be near 90, if not greater, maybe all the way up to 100% relative humidity overnight tonight, which means the air will be fully saturated. We could even see fog develop late tonight. That will certainly help firefighting conditions because that will dampen the atmosphere and it will make things much harder to ignite. But right now we're at the about peak conditions for fire growth. As we go through the evening hours, we'll see that fire start to slim on down. Now, I was able to update the fire extent of the Atkins fire. The fire that we're watching, where Alexia was just giving a report from, is right here. So there's Knee High Road right there. This is Tram, and then that's Star. So the fire is roughly in that direction. I'm not quite sure if it's on the north side of Tram or on the south side of Tram, but it's between right there. Do you know?
Yeah, it's west of Star, north of Tram, about 25 to 30 acres at this point.
Okay.
Our friends at Forestry telling us 4 bulldozers and a couple of helicopters are now working that. So.
Okay, so this is actually pretty close then. This should be right where it is because that's Tram, that's Star, so it should be right in that area. So that was just kind of a lucky guess on my part, but that's where the fire is, so that should be pretty close to where it is. Sims being on the south side, correct? The Sims on the south side of Tram?
Yeah, it should be. No, yeah, just across the street. Yeah,
just across the street there. Okay, so the Sims Nursing Home just on the south side there. The rest of the Atkins fire, they gave an updated map. You can check that out on mypanhandle.com or our social media of the updated Atkins fire map. The active fire lines, unfortunately, are on the northwestern flank and on the southern flank here. Those two areas are where there is still active fire. This is roughly about 35% contained, but hasn't expanded much off to the north or off to the east with the wind out of the south-southeast, so it should be pushing it off to the north and west, if anything. But most of the equipment is stationed right there on that northwestern flank, trying to protect those homes that are right there from the Atkins fire. And of course, we'll give the latest update on the Tram fire that just started. What we're zooming in here, this is the BERTHA fire, and anytime you're seeing yellow, reds, or oranges pop up, that's indicating a stronger updraft, which means the fire has gotten hotter. That's not what you want to see. You want to see the light greens showing up or nothing at all. We've got about 3 areas of interest where the fire is sparking coming from. It's about right there, and then we've got another 2 down here. So those are what's casting that updraft up and then projecting that smoke further up. So where you're seeing the yellow, that's not active fire. The fire is actually to the south of that. Remember, the wind is off to the south, south, and east, and this is the BERTHA fire. So this is what it looks like. Have had to expand that a little bit further off to the north, but the progression of this fire has been really slow today. It speaks to the firefighters and what they're doing out there on that northern flank of this fire. The area to evacuate, those have not changed from either the BERTHA fire or the Atkins fire, with exception to the new areas that they have just posted around the Tram fire that just started, and we just went over that. But this is the scope of the BERTHA fire. It is a very large fire, over 8,000 acres at this point in time. It does extend into southern Calhoun County, but is not threatening any residential areas or structures at this point. As far as we know of, the northwestern flank is where the most active fire is at this point in time. That is moving up into the Bear Creek area slowly, which is why we do have the evacuations in effect from County Road 106. That's this road right here, all the way up to Scotts Ferry. It's that road. Everything to the east of 231 and right to the county line, those are all under evacuation orders at this moment in time, thanks to the BERTHA fire. Again, with the wind moving out of the south-southeast at 16 miles per hour, our temperature 80 degrees. That's not helping things out either, and just a better look at the fire's expanse at this point in time. It's been super dry. We have burn bans across much of the area, including now Gulf County as well as Holmes County, also under burn bans at this point in time. So everywhere you see the arrows going across, there's high fire danger across the entirety of the area, with exception to southern Franklin and Gulf counties. Those are under a moderate fire danger. But the good news is we are expecting rain It's just going to take a while. Satellite also showing the smoke here from our fires. So thankfully not seeing any smoke yet out of the fires around Atkins. But if you watch this plume right here, that is the smoke, and you can kind of see it in better detail from the BERTHA fire. So it's right there. That is the BERTHA fire. That's the smoke that's coming from that. So the fire extent is about right there. So it is pressing closer and closer to Bear Creek. But as mentioned before, we are going to see firefighting conditions improve as we go through the evening hours. Our wind will come down, our relative humidity will come up, and we do have rain on the way. It's just going to be until probably Tuesday afternoon. Really the best chance of rain coming in on Wednesday. But we do have a 20% chance of a shower or storm tomorrow as we are watching this storm system. You notice all that moisture that's being pulled off of the Gulf of Mexico, just not a whole lot of coverage off to our west. That's what we'll be dealing with as we go through the day tomorrow. So we could get really, really lucky, and let's hope we do, and we get a pop-up shower or storm right over Bay County tomorrow. That would certainly help out things tremendously. And then as we go through the rest of the week, we're going to be talking about much, much better rain conditions. And again, tomorrow, really not much of an improvement, at least as far as the wind goes. We'll see the wind back up 18 to 20 miles per hour as we go through the mid-morning and afternoon hours. We're going to have much higher humidity than what we have even today, but it's still going to be mostly dry. It's not until we get into Tuesday that we have a boundary that's going to be pressing off to the south and east. That's when we'll start to see better rain chances come in, and our wind will settle down somewhat. It's still going to be breezy, but not as breezy. Futurecast here showing when we should expect that rain. So here's the isolated chance at a shower as we go through our Monday into Tuesday. This is Tuesday morning. There's where the better chances of showers will be arriving, and then into Tuesday afternoon. And then here comes the heavy rain. So we're all the way to Wednesday, and that's when we're going to start to see some really heavy rain come on through. We could see 2, maybe even 3 inches of rain. Isolated areas could be as high as 5 inches of rain. Along with that, on Wednesday, we may see a strong storm traversing the area. Then Friday, a big cold front comes through, so we may see another round of showers before some significantly colder air comes back into the picture and we dry things out. So we really got to get to Tuesday where our rain chances are up enough that I think we'll start to see at least some rain across the area. And then Wednesday is the day that will probably extinguish whatever is out there, because we're going to have a couple of rounds of very heavy rain move across the area.
Ross, any chance those storms, very quickly, any chance those storms will carry any lightning with them? Because that could be catastrophic.
Yeah, well, I think by the point in time that we start to get lightning into the area, we're unless we have something spark up tomorrow, certainly if we have something spark up tomorrow, then we may be talking about maybe ignitions of new fires if there's just a really low precip thunderstorm, which it's possible. I don't think that that's likely. Our chances of rain overall tomorrow are around 20%, so not expecting that. But by the time we get to where we're going to see thunderstorms, I think we're going to have enough rain across the area that we're not going to be worried about new fires.
Let's hope so. All right, thank you very much, Ross. Let's take a quick look now at the, if we can, Brian, the evacuation map. I know that's going to give you a second here to go ahead and get that uploaded. The evacuation zones, though, you see right there, the 2 yellow areas, that's the 2 main fires. That is the BERTHA Swamp Road fire to the top of your screen there on the right-hand side. Then below that is the ADKINS Avenue fire. That's the one that started 3 days ago. It's roughly, the boundary for that is 231 south down to Highway 98, and then from Transmitter Road over to Star Avenue. The one north of that is County Road 106 on the south end, all the way up to Scotts Ferry Road, and then 231 on the west side over to this county line. That's just for the Bay County area. Now again, these are areas that are under a mandatory evacuation at this point. Does that mean everybody's leaving? No, there are some people who have decided to stay, especially up in that northern section, because they have livestock there that they still have on their property, and they're trying to do the best they can to get those folks out of there. But I will tell you that if you're in one of these areas, it's best to go ahead and get out until they give you the all clear and let you go back in, because there is a danger that does exist. These wildfires can change directions at a moment's notice. As soon as the wind changes, they can spark up. It is very dry outside. And of course, there's also a danger of embers crossing over. You can see the extent of that's the BERTHA Swamp Road fire right there. That's that was yesterday's video. That's massive amounts of clouds smoke from that area, also fire you can see there. And there's so much lumber on the ground and timber on the ground from Hurricane Michael that there's really nothing to keep that from burning. It's all over the place, and that's what's fueling a lot of this. This area is the other fire, the Adkins Avenue fire. That one, of course, is also video from yesterday. That one, of course, is starting to, as you just saw Ross's map there, looks like a center section of that is starting to get organized again. There's a main little center section of the fire. And then, of course, the new fire right on the southeast corner of that area, which is the Tram Road and Knee High and Star Avenue area, that right there by the Sims Nursing Home. Again, firefighters doing everything they can to try and keep these areas damp and moist, so if the flames come that way, at least that'll help try and stop them, slow them down just a little bit, and try and make sure that folks are safe and out of those areas. We've got firefighters from all over the state who have come up here to help us. Many of them drove all night long. This is aerial video that came up yesterday from the governor's office. They took that with a helicopter they went up in, and this is the area again from the ground level of the, this is the Adkins Avenue fire area. It's just such a tragedy to see these homes burn. There's a report of about 8 homes as of yesterday. 8 homes have been destroyed, and well over a dozen have been damaged by the fire. It's actually quite amazing. We haven't had far more destruction given the scope and the size of these fires and the amount of homes, especially in the Adkins Avenue area fire. There's a lot of homes there. They evacuated that the old Billsma Dairy, which I think is called Billsma Heights, I believe, is the neighborhood there now. Those houses are right there on top of each other. They evacuated that area, and amazingly, we haven't lost very much in any of these areas. But truly incredible to see the loss on this scale right here, lower level. It reminds you a whole lot of the fires that we had in South Walton a couple of years ago that destroyed, I don't know, something like 20, 30 homes over there. And just amazingly how quickly this fire can spread and damage everything. You think you have plenty of time to get out, but again, the wind can shift at a moment's notice. Those flames are a lot faster and sometimes than a person can walk or run, and it's just not sometimes advantageous to stay. I would say sometimes, not any time it's really advantageous to stay. It's just truly amazing. These are pictures we're used to seeing out of California. Helicopters are coming in. By the way, the part of Deer Point Lake has been shut down. They're bringing in some larger helicopters that will dip buckets of water out of the Deer Point Lake area. It's really shut down from the dam all the way back to, I want to say it's the park right there at the far tip of the Deer Point Lake area on the main area of Deer Point Lake. That area has been closed to boaters. They're trying to keep them out of there so they can bring helicopters in. But helicopters have been swinging all over this area, dipping water out of all the little ponds and creeks and whatnot from around the area closest to the fire. That's again, a picture right there. You've seen a lot of that going on. There's another helicopter kind of in the midst of the smoke there. You can almost barely see that one. But truly a heroic effort by the firefighters who have come in here. And I was mentioning that we have a lot of people come in from out of state. A lot of them drove all night long just to be up here and fight this fire for us. It's truly an amazing feat some of these young men and women are doing out there. And we do actually have one of the folks who is in charge of sort of organizing efforts like this and coming in. Okay, Governor Ron DeSantis is stepping up to the microphone. Let's go ahead and go to the command center. It looks like he's ready to speak.
Well, good afternoon. I was able to go tour some of the fires and see from the air with the National Guard, and you know, there's obviously a lot going on. I mean, the Atkins fire near Panama City is about 35% contained. They have been using these Chinooks that we brought with the Florida National Guard, so they're dumping an extremely large amount of water, and it's had really positive effects at keeping that thing contained. And they were able, the Florida Forest Service was able to get a more accurate mapping around the perimeter. They updated the acreage, and so we are at 35% contained. The BERTHA swamp fire is approximately 9,000 acres, and is about 10% contained. And so as you go out and look at that, that's a big boy, and it's raging very quickly. It's moving. If you look where it's moving, the smoke is like way ahead of it, so it creates a lot of challenges in a number of different respects. So we're able to see that, but it's moving very, very quickly. Today's the perfect day for these types of fires to move. Unfortunately, you have very dry conditions and you have a lot of wind. So we've had about 1,100 homes evacuated. Yesterday we were here surveying some of the damage. I was able to see some of the damage. Unfortunately, some of the homes that were lost from the air today. We have deployed at the state level 4 firefighting engine strike teams. So they're assembled to support local firefighting resources, and they serve as a force multiplier, and they can do both structural and wildland protection. So I think we had one from Manatee County. They went immediately out. We go from, I guess, as far south as Southwest Florida. You have people up here that are helping out up here in Northwest Florida. So we appreciate that. We've got 4 National Guard air assets, 2 Blackhawks and 2 Chinooks. They're working and they're having a positive impact. We also have ESF 49 deploying first responder mental wellness support to ensure our first responders are taking care of themselves after long hours. I'll let some of the other folks talk, but I mean, we have had some of our first responders that have suffered injuries, unfortunately, and so both from a physical and mental capacity, we want to be able to help folks that. We have had approved the FMAG request from FEMA. We tried to extend that to include Chipola Fire. That was not approved. We expanded the executive order to include the neighboring counties of Calhoun and Gulf. If you look at that big fire, it's kind of right at the juncture of a lot of those county lines, and so we were happy to be able to do that. We have the Florida Highway Patrol assisting the local sheriff's department with evacuations yesterday evening, and they will continue to supplement law enforcement. If there needs to be more evacuations, then obviously the state law enforcement will be assisting the sheriff and the other authorities here locally. The roads remain open, but they're monitoring that. If you see fire go in there, sometimes the smoke can really be very difficult. We had an incident over in Volusia County last week where the smoke blinded drivers and yet accidents. So they're constantly monitoring that, and if they do need to do anything, they'll obviously let everybody know. The Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles issued an emergency order that will help us transport emergency supplies quicker by waiving hours of service and certain registration requirements for commercial motor vehicles that are providing emergency support. They've also waived fees associated with replacing vehicle registration plates, driver's license, and IDs for any impacted residents. We have a number of staff from Florida Department of Emergency Management here to be able to help to respond to needs, and we are working with really all hands on deck to be able to mitigate this. And it's a really, really significant, certainly multiple fires, a major fire out there that we were able to see. I want to thank everybody again for all their hard work. I can tell you, looking from above shows you an even probably starker contrast between areas that had the support and what would have happened if they didn't. I mean, there were unfortunately some houses that would be lost in a given neighborhood, but then there'd be all these other houses that were right there that were saved. And so we appreciate everybody's effort to be able to protect people's property and to be able to protect people's lives. All right, we've got a number of folks here with us today. I've got Kevin Guthrie as the Director of the Division of Emergency Management for the state of Florida, our CFO, Jimmy Petronis, General James Eifert is our Adjutant General for the Florida National Guard. We have Sheriff Tommy Ford here, and then we have Brad Monroe from the fire. So they're all going to come up and say a few things and provide some updates. And so, Kevin, you want to?
Again, thank you very much, Governor, for your leadership. CFO, thank you as well. It's certainly been a united effort here with state agencies between the CFO's office and getting mutual aid assets to the Florida National Guard, to the Florida Department of Agricultural and Consumer Services, FWC, FHP. It really is an all hands on deck for all state agencies that need to be involved in this. I would also say that just out of our briefing, as we were coming out of the briefing, Chief Monroe, who you'll hear from in a moment, did ask us for some additional engine brush teams. Those are, in our world, those are Type 5 and Type 6 brush trucks. We are going to be requesting 3 additional strike teams of brush trucks, and we'll get those mobilized through CFO today on that. I'll let CFO go in a little bit more detail about where all the engine strike teams are coming from. Thank you, Governor.
Okay. All right, Jimmy.
Thanks, Governor. Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate everybody's support. It was amazing. Overnight, we had teams show up from all over the state, as far as Naples, as far east as Jacksonville. The Jacksonville teams were actually the same teams that were here with Hurricane Michael as members of Task Force 5. But to give you a little bit of a glimpse, we're talking about each one of these teams, about 80 individuals, Jacksonville Fire Rescue, St. John's, Clay County, Newport, Richey, Hernando. It goes on and on and on. The teams that we're drawn from are the ones that are basically not dealing with the same type of weather and environment we're dealing with right now. People ask, well, why don't we have somebody from Tallahassee or Pensacola? They're dealing with the exact same weather conditions we are right here. So it's better to bring those that are out of harm's way. As Kevin was talking about, some of the brush trucks we have that will come into the market out of Citrus County, Hernando County, those areas where similar type of terrain that will bring that type of equipment to be able to make the efforts. As it comes to insurance claims, if your house, if you have been evacuated, if you're one of those that has been evacuated, go ahead, pick up the phone, call your insurance carrier and let them know I've been evacuated out of an abundance of caution. Go ahead and start the claims process. If nothing happens, then nothing goes wrong. Nothing's hold against you. It's just getting your paperwork filed just in case. We've seen about 3 homes that potentially are total losses so far, but that number is small because of the amazing work of our first responders and our strike teams that have been working around the clock since this has happened, providing protection to those assets and those families. Most precious investment they'll make, their personal home. A lot of calls about charity and giving. I encourage you, if you want to make a donation, reach out to the Salvation Army, reach out to the Red Cross. I would be suspect on GoFundMe unless it's somebody that you personally know that you're being able to give to. Be careful where you donate your money. Those resources are precious. We want to make sure it goes to those that truly need it. We do have some injuries that have happened with some of our first responders. You know, again, it's dangerous work that they're doing, but you know, it is humbling to see the coordinated efforts between the governor's office, Department of Emergency Management, our office, and the Ag Commission, and what's been happening here over the last several days. Bob Mike and his team at the Bay County Commission have done an amazing job, and Governor, you got a lot of people to be proud of.
Okay. All right, General Eifert, Florida National Guard.
Thank you, Governor. So couldn't be prouder of the Florida National Guard has jumped in to participate in this interagency effort. As of yesterday morning, in less than 24 hours, we had soldiers that had generated their helicopters and were on station here this morning at 10 o'clock this morning. Within 2 hours of being on the ground, they had their Bambi buckets, which is basically the water buckets that they're using to offload water onto the fire source. Loaded in 2 hours, they were airborne over the target. So they're doing outstanding work. To this point, in just the hours that they've been up, there's been hundreds of thousands of gallons of water dropped from these helicopters onto the fire. So we're prepared to generate more as needed. Some of the concerns right now are airspace congestion, because if you get too many assets in the area, then it's not of a benefit to anyone. So we're weighing that closely with Director Guthrie and are ready to respond with more resources as required. Thank you.
We'd like to have Sheriff Tommy Ford come up.
Thank you, Governor. Once again, the residents of Bay County are extremely grateful to those first responders and other personnel throughout the state of Florida that have come to our aid in a dire time. You know, just 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago, we had Hurricane Michael, and I remember spending quite a bit of time in this very parking lot getting those resources in. We want to thank the governor and the director for your resources with that. And I promise you, if you'll go ahead and put them in a mission for us, any other disaster in the state, Bay County will be the first to respond to help. This situation has been dynamic over the past couple of days and changing very quickly. Last night we had to initiate an evacuation in the area of Bear Creek. That was due to the fire up there moving closely. We've had to initiate some additional evacuations today due to a fire in the area of Tram Road. And to quote my lieutenant that called about 10 minutes ago, said the Chinooks are amazing. They were actually really a game changer on that fire. That was the fire that resulted in the Sims nursing home evacuation, but the 2 Chinooks were able to get in there and dump a lot of water. We were able to really make some headway on that. They're still fighting that as we speak right now. There's been a lot of questions about the Bay County Jail. The Bay County Jail is in the area off of Star Avenue. It is not in immediate danger, but we do have a very robust plan in place. I've been working with the Department of Corrections. It would require, with 1,300 inmates, would require us to spread them to quite a few institutions, but we've been working with DEM and Department of Corrections and have a good plan in place. We'll have some buses here later that will be on standby should that become necessary. It is a very strong, sturdy structure made out of concrete with a wide perimeter around it, so I think the probability is low of that, but we do have those plans in place. Just want to talk a little bit about the evacuations. I know there's been frustration of people not being able to get back into their homes, but realize that even the fire that we have closest to here that we've been dealing with since Friday is only 35% contained, and some of those lines are still very active. As you see with Tram Road, we've had things that have popped up on a minute's notice and really caused a lot of problems. So for now, we're holding firm on keeping those evacuated, but I assure you that as soon as we can, we'll let people back in there. Just to go over the areas evacuated: the Bilsma Estates, Cedar Park, College Station, Pipeline Road to the dead end, Springfield east of Transmitter. Again, newly last night, Bear Creek from Scotts Ferry Road south, and everyone east of 231 from South Bear Creek to Ville Road. Just in the last hour, 2 hours, Tram Road from 15th Street to North Star Avenue to include the nursing home, with a road closure right now of Star Avenue from Nehi Road to Pittsburgh Avenue. Been working together with area law enforcement here in Bay County, as well as state law enforcement resources. And again, thank you all for your help.
Okay. We have Brad Monroe, a Bay County.
Thank you, Governor, and thank you for coming back to Bay County and offering your support to our first responders. An incredible effort has been made over the last few days by our local first responders and now by our strike teams. We have lots of our folks who are returning to the field that were out there fighting fires just a day or so ago. So we're hoping to be able to get a handle on this thing, and I think the assets that are coming in will help a great deal. I want to thank the support staff here at the command post, the folks who are feeding our employees and sending food and supplies out to the firefighters in the field. They appreciate that very much and have passed that on to me. And as CFO Petronas alluded to earlier, we do have some crews that had responded to us in the Hurricane Michael effort, and it's very heartwarming to see those folks come back to help us again. I want to commend the efforts by our local firefighters, the Florida Forestry Service, and now the National Guard, who is here to help us. Thank you, General. We appreciate your service and that of your servicemen. Some of our crews have been out there for days and were there before on the same particular fire. We still remain in a very serious situation in Bay County, in a state of emergency. The BERTHA swamp fire is now 9,000 acres. It's just hard to believe that something could be that big, the biggest fire I've ever seen. But anyway, if you fly around it, it's just incredible. It's hard to comprehend just how big, strong, and fierce this fire is. And the winds have been variable throughout the last few days. We expect that again tomorrow. So this is not a time to let your guard down. We expect the same situation. We may have some more serious fires today, but be cognizant of that, and we hope that the extra assets that we've gotten in will help us turn the tide here. I encourage everyone to heed the evacuations. I want to thank Sheriff Ford and law enforcement for the phenomenal job they've done by helping us get out in front of that. I'm sorry for any inconvenience, but this is necessary to protect lives. Again, I want to thank my staff, the county commissioners, who have been such a tremendous support of us, giving us such tremendous support over the last few days. They've been here almost every minute of this activation, and that makes our crews feel good about their community. I want to thank the community for their response. Those who evacuated, I know it's inconvenience, but you make it easier for our troops to get in, the heavy equipment from the Forestry Service, the engines, the crews going in to fight the fires, by not reducing the traffic. This is essential to having a good stand on these fires. Again, I thank you for your help and your support, and that we've gotten from all over the United States. There's people have texted me from all over the United States offering support and help to us. I was asked about donations. We have been getting donations throughout this event. I think every time I went out in public, somebody tried to hand me some food of some sort. There is a way that you can donate. I think CFO Petronas covered some of that. We do have an agency that's handling that for us, and we can get you that information if you need it. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Well, again, we appreciate everyone's hard work. They have all hands on deck, from municipalities to the county to the state. We're thankful for that, and we're pleased to be able to bring more assets to bear. As General Eifert said, I mean, we potentially could have more aircraft. It becomes an issue when you're managing these fires. How many of these birds do you want in air at one time? And it does create some challenges there. But suffice it to say, if they see an opportunity where that can be done without having those challenges, then they're willing to do it. And I know Kevin Guthrie at DEM is going to be standing by to continue to help in any way we can in the state of Florida. So I would just tell folks here, just listen to these folks. If they do tell you this thing's moving quickly, the winds are very significant, and if they tell you to evacuate in a different area that has not been subject to that, listen to that. Please don't go out burning stuff right now. I mean, it's just not something that we need. There's the conditions are so ripe for these fires to really go, and from the air to the wind, and unfortunately we're not going to get any relief in terms of the weather. I think maybe in the middle of the week they may get some rain, but it seems like tomorrow is going to be a similar day, and so that means that these fires are going to have some additional fuel. So just heed that, understand that, and don't do anything to contribute to that. And so with that, we're happy to take some questions.
How far away are the neighborhoods that are under mandatory evacuation from the fires, specifically the BERTHA Swamp Road fire in relation to the Bear Creek area neighborhoods?
You want to?
As of about an hour ago, it was 3 miles away, but it's traveling quickly, so I don't have a very up-to-date, accurate answer on that.
And what would you say to residents who are staying behind? I talked to a couple over in the Bear Creek area who said they were waiting to see burning embers before they leave.
By that time, it's a little too late. I would say if you have any doubt in mind, you need to go ahead and evacuate now. Right now it's 45% contained, and they're making great progress on it, but I don't have an accurate, up-to-date acres right now.
Do we know how much of the BERTHA Swamp fire is actually?
That's a good question. I'd have to look at the map a little bit better. It's 9,000 acres right now. I would imagine it's a couple of thousand acres in Bay County.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Got that.
Okay, you've just heard the governor and entourage giving their latest information regarding the fire situation here in Bay County. We're going to kind of recap that for you and tell you what we know based off of the information there. For some of you who did not get in on the beginning of that, the largest fire, which is the BERTHA Swamp Road fire, has now grown to 9,000 acres. It is still only 10% contained. We're going to talk more with Ross on that one in just a minute. The ADKINS Road fire, ADKINS Avenue fire, which is the one that started a couple of days ago right above Tyndall Parkway, That one is still holding at about 1,400 acres. It is 35% contained at this point. And then the brand new one that's popped up off of Star Avenue around Tram Road, that one is the one that's threatening the Sims nursing home. They evacuated that. That's about 25 to 30 acres, but the good news there is it's already 45% contained. So that's really good news there. Now, Ross, while this has been going on, Ross has been checking out especially the BERTHA fire. Ross, you got some interesting graphics there that shows just how big the clouds and the smoke are getting over there.
Yeah, anytime we're talking about fires, you have to incorporate the atmosphere, especially when you're talking about really expansive fires. 9,000 acres is a huge fire. And we really have two fronts of this fire, and we've been picking that up all day on radar. This is the smoke plume. We're showing 3D here, so every line that you see behind me here is roughly 15,000 feet. So you're going up, that yellow line that's right at the top of the screen, that's 30,000 feet. So looking at this line, that's 15,000 feet. And if you watch this, this is the smoke plume, the cloud that the smoke is creating, that the fire is creating. The higher that gets, that means the stronger the updraft that is being created by the fire, aka the hotter the fire. The higher the smoke, the hotter the fire. And sometimes, if the atmosphere is right, you can get a pyrocumulus to develop. So that's a cumulus cloud that is literally created from the heat of the fire. And briefly, we had one. It does look like it has collapsed, but you see it peak up there and then come back down. That speaks to how dry the area is aloft and how much it is actually being suppressed back to the surface. But sometimes pyrocumulus, if they get 15,000 feet or higher, can produce lightning. That happens a lot out in the west, and that's when we get dry lightning and you start to worry about new fires being created from that. So thankfully, we're not seeing this sustain at 15,000 feet. It's being suppressed back down. So it's unlikely that we're going to get any lightning or anything like that out of it, but it speaks to just how big this fire is. And you notice right there briefly, we were even picking up red off of the radar. That's a very dense smoke and ash. So something that was burning there, probably down trees or maybe a mass of down trees, really got hot there for a few minutes and allowed that smoke to get all the way up to 15,000 feet, has now collapsed. But a neat view of what is a terrible situation, being able to see this in 3D and that smoke, just how far it's going. You see Chipley right there on the edge of the map. Even the smoke thick enough at that point in time that we're getting a cloud above Chipley. So that is well away from the fire itself, where we're still seeing thick enough smoke for a cloud to be.
Ross, right behind you, there's the yellow intensity popping up there, and it looks like there is a bit of red intensity popping up in there, which we hadn't seen before today. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's the hottest I've seen the fire get today, is when, while the governor was speaking, we had red pop up on the radar, which really spoke to the fact that this fire got really, really hot. So it could just be a combination of the fuels burning at the surface, all burning out at the same time, and they just meet their peak intensity. It could have been something else caught on fire, and that's what helped allow the fire to get hotter. But certainly that was the hottest we've seen the fire at this point in time. We've seen yellow at periods of time, and then it kind of settled on down. But you'll notice that there's really two plumes here. So there's one fire back here, there's another one right there, and this one got really, really hot briefly, hot enough to produce that pyrocumulus.
It's just amazing how quickly that thing has blown up from really yesterday morning at about, what, 1,400 acres to all the way over 9,000 now. It's incredible. All right, thank you very much, Ross. Let's go back live to the command center where the governor just finished delivering his news conference, and Jake Holter, he's been standing by there off and on all day today. Jake, what's the latest going on there?
Yeah, Tom, so the biggest thing that came out of today was the Bertha Swamp Road fire is now up to 9,000 acres, still holding at that 10% containment. They're really trying to get a handle on that. But as you said earlier, the good news is that Star Avenue, Knee-High, Tram Road, so far nameless fire, they were able to get a handle on it really, really quickly, already at 45% containment. I forget who said it, but they said I believe it was the chief with Bay County Emergency Services said those Chinook helicopters that they've been bringing in have been a huge help in getting that contained. Because everybody's already deployed out here, they were able to be activated and ready to go because of its proximity to the Atkins Avenue fire. Those Chinook helicopters, the buckets of water they can pull are over 2,000 gallons. So that has been a huge help for those people. Again, there has been, if
you've been out at Bear Creek most of the day today. You've been out at Bear Creek most of the day today. Tell me about some of the things you've seen out there today.
I have. Bear Creek has been crazy. It's really off and on. I was trying to film something earlier, and with some of the white smoke, and then black smoke would pillow up, and one of the captains with the Bay County Fire Rescue was telling me, it's like when you see that black smoke, that is new burn. So it would kind of stop and start, and then you would see white smoke come up. That is, as they're combating it, that means the fire's kind of hit a line. So I'm scheduled to actually be back out at that fire for our 5:30 show. I'm gonna go back out with Florida Forest Services. Hopefully we should have more of an update by that point. But this is still, I mean, I cannot reiterate enough, it's still a very serious situation in Bay County. As you can see, another fire did just pop up. It can happen just like that, Tom. So, again, yeah, I should have more on the Bertha Swamp Road fire tonight at 5:30.
All right, we'll look forward to that. Jake, thanks very much. Jake Holder reporting live from the Panama City Mall area, where the governor, again, just wrapped up that news conference with the latest information. Recapping once again, the Bertha fire is now at 9,000 acres, 10% contained. The Adkins area fire is still holding at 1,400 acres, but about 35% contained. And that new fire that popped up over near the Sims Nursing Home on Tram Road and Star Avenue, that one is about 30 acres, and it is 45% contained, thanks largely, we're told, to those Chinook helicopters that the Florida National Guard brought in. And again, you just heard Jake say they can carry 2,000 gallons of water in those buckets at a time. That's pretty impressive. Here's the scene at Sims Funeral Home. The fire crews from the Springfield Fire Department wetting down that area surrounding there while they evacuated 88 veterans out of that nursing home, taking them over to the evacuation shelter, which is now at the Bay County Fairgrounds. There are two major evacuation areas that you know about for the Adkins fire and, of course, for the Bertha fire. People in those areas asked to evacuate. It is mandatory. Of course, they cannot make you leave your house, but they're strongly urging, of course, you evacuate. And they're asking those people, if they need a place to stay, they can always go to the Bay County Fairgrounds. The shelter there is set up, and they do take animals. So if you have your dogs or cats and you have a carrier or whatnot, you can take those animals there. Ross, you want to check back in with you for a sec? You got something new?
Yeah, we'll just go back over the maps, and since we have new information on those maps and a better idea, we'll walk through that. But was speaking to the pyrocumulus, you can actually see the collapsed portion of that that's back here off in the distance on the tower cam. So that has collapsed back on down, and then if you look off in the distance, you see that there's a new one trying to be recreated here. So that too is a pyrocumulus. There's just enough energy in the atmosphere, what we refer to as CAPE, that's convective available potential energy, so we refer to it as CAPE. We shorten it down. There's just enough of it with the heat at the surface from the fire. It's creating cumulus. We even had a little bit of cumulus today popping up just from the actual heat from the surface thanks to the sun. So we already had some juice, but the fire creating the rest. So you can see the pyrocumulus right there. If we get this up to about 15,000 feet, then we could see lightning strikes out of it. Dry lightning is what's referred to, as it wouldn't be producing rain. So hopefully we don't get there, that the fire doesn't get that hot, but certainly seeing some cumulus out of it. The haze off in the distance, that is from the Adkins fire as well as the Sims fire, and then of course Bertha fire off in the distance as well. Going over the maps here as we move forward, just an update on the Adkins fire, a better map on social and mypanhandle.com. The northern flank is where they're fighting the fire the most. There's still an active fire line on the southern end, and then that other fire that we were mentioning about, what'd you say, 40 or 50 acres? Is that what you said?
30.
30 acres.
30, yeah.
Okay, 25, 30 acres. This one is 45% contained. This one is 35% contained. So that is good news. And as mentioned earlier, we are coming out of peak fire conditions. We're going to see fire conditions improve as we go into the evening hours. Our wind will settle. Our relative humidity values will go up. Those temperatures will come down. We may even see fog develop as we get into the overnight hours. Looking at the radar, we showed this. You notice the red that blew up right there. That's probably the new pyrocumulus. So I was talking about this. We've got 2 areas of where this fire is really raging at this point in time. One in Calhoun County. So this is the line, the Bay County, Calhoun County border. And there looks like there's a really strong updraft coming off of the fire on the Calhoun County side now. But we also have another strong area of updraft, so hot fire on the Bay County side. This is approaching Lee Road. Lee Road is right there. This is, I think, County Road 11, and then we have County Road 106, which is right here. So that is the evacuation area right there. So this is all smoke. This isn't fire. The fire is down here. The wind is pushing the smoke in that direction, which is why the radar is showing it as rain, because this is all smoke. That's what we're looking at, is smoke. But anytime you see the yellows show up, the reds, that's signifying that the updraft, the heat from the fire, has gotten hotter because it's pushing more smoke up into the air. So that's telling us that the fire has gotten hotter or bigger. The BERTHA fire here, we have moved the map a little bit further off to the north as this slowly has increased, as mentioned from the governor's conference, that we had 9,000 acres now burning or burned from the BERTHA fire. So that is this whole area. It is a huge, huge fire. For scope, this is the ADKINS fire down here. This is the BERTHA fire. So the BERTHA fire, much bigger than our ADKINS fire, which is closer to Panama City. This is the evacuation area. Once again, it is from County Road 106 to Scotts Ferry Road east of 231. So if you're in Youngstown or Fountain, you're seeing smoke. I know you're smelling it. You're probably seeing ash fall or smoke fall coming out of that smoke plume. You're not under the evacuation area yet, but you definitely want to be paying attention to this. If this creeps up on Bear Creek and certainly gets into the Bear Creek area, Youngstown and Fountain, you would likely be the active areas next to need to be evacuated. So you definitely want to keep paying attention to this, but I wouldn't be concerned about it until you're put under the evacuation. So certainly have the go bag ready, have all of your kit and stuff together just in case, but at the moment, I wouldn't worry about it until it needs to be worried about. You're just going to be stressing over something that you can't control. So get prepared, but don't worry about it up until the point that you are put under those evacuations.
All right, Ross, let's talk about a couple of other things. Last night, once the sun went down, conditions started to change. The fire sort of subsided or died down for the night. At what point are we looking at that today? Because I don't see that large fire dying down anytime soon.
No, we're going to have to wait a while. Tonight, we should see conditions improve. So going really past sunset is when the firefighting conditions will really improve. I doubt we see much expansion of the BERTHA fire overnight tonight, and really either fires, just because we are going to have our relative humidity so high and we're going to have very little wind. We may even see fog develop as we get into the early morning hours. So the major issue overnight tonight is going to be visibility, where the smoke is pushed down to the ground, as well as maybe even dense fog, but certainly air quality, where that smoke is being pushed down to the ground too. So the Bear Creek area, the Youngstown area, the Fountain area, possibly all the way up into Washington County, maybe even into Jackson and Holmes County, you may smell smoke, or that smoke might be mixed with fog, which certainly could impact visibility. But rain chances, they're few and far between. You see the radar here across the southeast. We're going to have basically the air mass that's off to our west move over the top of us through the day tomorrow. So we may get really lucky, and I mean really lucky, and get a shower or a thunderstorm as we go through the day tomorrow. But it's Tuesday where our rain chances jump up to 40%, and then Wednesday we've got a 90% chance of rain. So Wednesday is when we get the drenching rain to come in. That's when things are significantly going to improve.
Let's jump back. You mentioned something I was getting ready to ask you about anyway, air quality. I mean, should people with respiratory issues be worried about this at all?
Yeah, if you're smelling smoke and you have respiratory issues, you certainly need to get away from the smoke. Yeah. Treat it just like you would if there was bad ozone outside. You know, they say you want to be inside where you've got the air filters, those kind of things. In this situation, if smoke is coming into your home, inside and outside may not be in much of a difference, so you certainly want to seek better air quality away from where that smoke is. And then tonight, when the wind dies down and that smoke is pushed to the surface, inside is where you're going to be, because the wind's not going to be pushing it in the home, so your air filters will help you out.
All right, let's thank you, Ross. Let's go back and remind folks that most of our viewing area is under a burn ban. We had somebody just call in a few minutes ago and said they were over in the Walton County area and drove by and somebody's burning trash in their backyard. Not a good move. Walton County is under a burn ban right now. Here's the areas. Now, you can add Holmes County to this area, which this map was from earlier today. Holmes County's just gone into a burn ban too. So the only counties in our area is Liberty and Franklin counties. That's it. The rest of them in our viewing area, you're under a burn ban. If you can hear my voice, don't burn anything. If firefighters have to leave these big fires to come to your place to put out a little brush fire that you shouldn't have lit in the first place, you're taking away from them their ability to fight these larger fires that, Lord knows at this point, we really need the help on that, because again, there are people's houses and property that are upwind of this thing that could end up with damages if the flames end up spreading up that direction. So please, by all means, do not burn. We're under a burn ban in Bay County, in Holmes County, in Washington, and Jackson, as well as Gulf and Walton County. So do not burn anything in those areas. And Calhoun, pardon me, I forgot about Calhoun. Our friends in Calhoun County, you are also under a burn ban there too. And again, as Ross pointed out a few minutes ago, part of the large fire, the BERTHA fire, is now into Calhoun County. It's Gulf, Calhoun, and Bay counties. That's a huge fire, now at 9,000 acres and only 10% contained. Folks on the ground and in the air are doing the best they can to get this thing under control. But as you heard the one firefighter say here from Bay County, this is the biggest fire he's ever seen, okay? This is a huge fire, folks. Now, again, is it 9,000 acres on fire all at the same time? No. 9,000 acres have been burning at one time or another over the last 48 hours. And that's actually, if you're going to go back a little further, when it began in Gulf County, probably 72 hours. This thing began in a very remote area of Gulf County, sort of the northwest portion of Gulf County, in an area known as BERTHA Swamp. That's why we're calling it the BERTHA Swamp Road Fire. And it started out in a very remote area. It was difficult for firefighters to even get in there, and that's how it spread so quickly. There was very minimal firefighting effort early on because it was so remote. And now it's spread up this way, and they're having to battle what is now a huge fire. And this is not just our problem. I mean, again, this thing is a big fire and could go into parts of Calhoun, and who knows, if it doesn't get contained, it could go further up. So we're really hoping and praying we get some relief from Mother Nature with some rain by the middle of the week that'll hopefully give the firefighters a break and knock some of this out to make it more controllable for them. Again, it's a tough situation for everybody involved, but do what you can to make sure you keep yourself and your family safe, and try and stay out of the firefighters' way. If they're asking you not to go into a certain area, please respect their wishes, get out of the way, and try and find another alternative task at hand, either going to one of the evacuation shelters. Right now the evacuation shelter set up at the Bay County Fairgrounds, or find another place to go where you can stay with friends or family, or maybe just go to a mall or something, or go to a shopping center and bide some time until you can get back into the area where you need to go. But again, they're setting up roadblocks all over the area. The area at Knee High on Tram Road was blocked off earlier today, and I assume it probably still is. I've been out here for an hour, so I don't know. But you know, it's a situation where you need to make sure you listen to the law enforcement officers and listen to the firefighters, and please, by all means, pay attention to the first responders and heed their requests, because we really need to get a handle on this fire and try and get this situation cleared up so we don't have anyone else losing property, losing their homes, and again, God forbid, worst case scenario, people losing their lives. We don't want that to happen at all, you know, or the property, nothing. We'd like to get this thing over with as quickly as possible. It is now almost 4 o'clock. We normally would be coming back on with a 4 o'clock update, but I think we're going to obviously skip this one since we've been on for the last hour. We'll let you know, of course, if anything else breaks, we will break in and let you know if there's any more updated information that you're going to need, or any new developments in this case. We've had a lot over the last hour, as you've seen, but we'll let you know exactly what's going on. We will probably not do a 5 o'clock update. We'll let you catch national news, and then we'll begin our newscast here at 5:30. If you want to stay up to date, we're constantly posting stuff on mypanel.com. Make sure you go and download the 13 Now app. That will give you all the information, the latest information we have, because that's where we're putting everything as soon as it comes in the building. So make sure you have the 13 Now app downloaded on your phone, and that way you can always be in touch with what we have, what we know. You'll get that information as quick as we do. Until then, 5:30, Emily McLeod will be back with the rest of the team. We'll have a complete set of works going on. Oh, My friends at Billsma, I know it's Billsma Estates now. Thank you for calling. It's not Billsma Heights and Billsma Estates. But again, thank you for tuning in. We'll keep you updated throughout the next few days as this still continues to be a threat. Keep it right here on News 13 and 13 Now, the My Panhandle app, and we'll have all the information for you. Thanks for tuning in. See you again at 5:30.